G'day August. I'm just about to pull this little mandolin down and give it a bit of a tidy up and put some new strings on it. And before I did that, I thought it might be wise that I just described a few things on it for you. I'm going to do the whole process so that you get an understanding of how simple this little darling is. Okay, just quickly, the strings from C to A are 42, 32, 22 and 12, and that's sort of just the way it's ended up. Now, I'll just talk a little bit about this Allen key. What it does is it adjusts the string height, so I'll just do it just to show you. I'll play a little bit as I do it. Hang on. I'm sure you heard that. So that actually, you can sort of understand how that works pretty simply. Now the other thing is the Allen key here does the mute. Now the mute will be on when you get it, which is a good thing because there's no way known that any damage in travel, smashing it, which will be probably there, could damage the instrument because the mute will be in it and it'll damage what's below the box. So I'll just put the Allen key in here, and it's an anti-clockwise turn. So I'll start. You'll hear it. Maybe I should just play it first. A quick just play. So that's what it sounds like with the mute off. So I'll just put the mute on, which is an anti-clockwise turn. I can't remember how many. You'll hear the string tension go up. There it goes. Now the mute is on, which has actually forced this up a little bit, which changes the string tension. The only purpose with this particular instrument for the mute is to protect it when travelling, because as you can see now it's sort of very quiet. But of course, if this thing had a humbucker underneath it, you'd be in heaven in terms of feedback issues. Also, it's not bad if you want to play quietly and not annoy anybody. Okay, so that's enough of that. So you've got this and this, which is what this one Allen key does. So I'll just take the mute off again. Now it's clockwise, or screw it in to take it off. The reason I'm taking it off is because I'm about to dismantle the instrument. So I'll just screw it right down so it's just slightly firm on, or off I should say, so just quickly. Okay, so I think I've explained enough. These strings on it are quite old. They've been on it for over a month and I've been giving them a bit of a work over. I managed to get this finger rest on without actually taking the strings off, so part of the tidy up today is pulling it down. So I'll now pull it down, and I'll just, to do that, I'll screw this in just a fraction, which stops that. Now that stops the neck coming off, and as you'll see, there's absolutely no action there, but the neck is now locked in if I screw it in a bit. So now I can just take the strings off. Now to take the strings off, it's best to take them off in that sequence, and to put them back on, or put new strings on, you put them on in this sequence. You'll see obviously why that's the go, but just in case you didn't work that out. So here we go. Okay, first string off is one of these. I don't know a simpler system. I'm just going to ditch these strings because they've done their time. I'm doing this because it's probably best just to see practically what it's like. Currently what I've got on the instrument is both ball and loop, which this tailpiece takes really quite easily. The ball or the loop will not fall off when the instrument is got string tension on it, because the little tag which has got these on is tapered back a little bit, so as soon as the string tension is on, it can't slide off, if you know what I mean. Okay, that's half the strings off. Nearly there. I'm sorry about this. It's good that I actually go all the way through this as quick as I can, so that you have a reference point for understanding my crazy head. And as you can see, strings come off really easily. Okay, 2 to go. The other reason I'm showing you this is because if at any stage you want to travel with this instrument, the good news is that you can literally put it in your bag, as I'll show you just in 2 more seconds. We've got John Doppiera to thank for the idea of the floating soundboard. I think it's just a wonderful idea, and for the life of me I can't work out why it hasn't been explored more, the floating soundboard. Which, speaking of floating soundboard, we now have the soundboard off. It's as simple as that. Now the other Allen key that I've got is just to make sure that this particular screw is always firm. You don't need to do it tight, but it's got to be firm so that it makes a really good contact with the bridge. It's the same as welding it on in another respect. Okay, so now we've almost got the instrument into its 3 separate parts. All I need to do now is to loosen off this Allen key here till it's no longer obstructing or causing the neck to, it's out of fair way, but it's still sitting there, so it's not a problem. Now as you see, I just jiggle the neck. I've actually gone and put nut grease on this neck, and I regret it because nut grease has made the tie a little bit too tight. But the good news is that it doesn't make any creaking sounds when you adjust the string height, which can disturb some people, but it's not a functional issue apart from that. So now we've got the basic 2 parts of the instrument, and I'll just show you here, because you may not look at this at any stage, but you'll understand the engineering principles, which might help you. There's a little tiny divot, and that little divot's just there, and that's the screw goes into that divot, and that little divot actually stops it from coming out, although it is a tight fit, and that's the locator, and it's located on that point on purpose, because I locate it there and then I sand a bit off the bottom so it's not dragging on the bottom. And the other thing that's really important is when the string tension is on the instrument, you've got a massive amount of force at the pivot point here, which is a really good thing, because it means all the shock coming down the neck is actually going to get back into the instrument, which is what everybody wants, of course. Okay, so that's pretty much it. What I'm about to do is put some nice fresh strings on the instrument and tune it up and put it in the box, which is what my camera's resting on here, and send it off to you, and I hope it reaches you before the 10th of next month. Today's the 21st. Okay, said enough. Catch you August.